Hey there everybody, and welcome to my full season review of The Silent Sea. So as you know, I did another review a few days back when I just watched the first 2 episodes of the show and I was super impressed. But now I finished the entire season. It's 8 episodes and I can give you a full, thorough review of this limited series. Netflix has not asked for a second season yet, but I know that they love milking these shows when they're a big hit, so you never really know. But I'm just going to treat the show as a one season type of thing. This is just my favorite thing anyway. So let's dive right in, shall we? Let's start with the finale. My wife said that it was very underwhelming, and she might have a point. I would have liked to have a bit more closure when it comes to Dr. Song and Luna, but I still like the ending. So by the way, I'm going to spoil everything. So if you have not finished the season, jump on ahead to the end, check the rating, go and come back. Deal? Basically, in the end, Dr. Song manages to escape with Luna, who we discover is a clone, which the government was experimenting on. So they killed 72 of them. She was the 73rd or 72nd, and she was the one who could finally withstand lunar water, which basically would have solved the entire water crisis on Earth. So and that's what gave her all these powers, because she finally was able to control this lunar water and gave her advanced healing and strength and speed and all that jazz. So anyway, Dr. Song manages to escape with Luna, thanks to the captain who gives his life. We'll get to that in a bit. And the other doctor whose name I forgot, but everyone else in the team dies, which is pretty crazy. Only the women basically survive, if you think about it, which is an interesting POV. Yeah, so the final scene is them basically being picked up, rescued by the ship on their way back to Earth. So my wife Sarah really wanted to see what would happen back on Earth, and she's right. It was a bit abrupt as an ending. I didn't hate it. They've had some really bad endings on TV over the last few years. This was not a bad ending, but it was a bit underwhelming. It could have been a bit more impactful. A finale, a strong finale, can really cement a show as a really powerful piece of television. This one cemented the show as a solid piece of TV, nothing more. I think my main issue with the show was not that, was the fact that our lead, Dr. Song, felt like a cipher. She didn't really show any emotion until perhaps the last 2 episodes. I much preferred the captain, played by Yong-woo. I just thought he was super charismatic, super likable in the role, and I actually felt really bad that he died in the finale. Part of me was hoping that Luna managed to swoop in and save him, but I think the idea was that the water and the impact threw him outside, and that's where Luna found him and showed him the badge for his daughter and all of that. So, but he was actually my favorite character, and I felt like I was more attached and invested in his journey than I was in our lead, which is kind of problematic if you think of it. I just wanted her to open up a bit more. They made her too much of a cipher. She was way too stoic the entire season. The villains, the RX group thing that Lieutenant Rio or whoever was affiliated with, were also not very developed, but that's fine. It didn't detract from the show. I still enjoyed the whole thing immensely. Like, I was never bored throughout the show. I was captivated and intrigued throughout all 8 episodes, and the mystery was doled out at a good pace, so it wasn't too sluggish and it wasn't too fast. They really managed to find that fine line and that fine balance, and I was constantly impressed by the terrific production values, the CGI, the sets on the moon. Like, everything was really perfectly realized, super Hollywoody and not cheap in any way. I have a small part of me that kind of wished that we didn't go into that supernatural ability stuff that Luna had, but you could just boil that down to the lunar water, of course. But it did kind of break the realism for me at some points. And really, the show's biggest strength is the fact that they tackled the water crisis in such a captivating way. I love the whole concept of people having cards based on levels, and that you would have access to different amounts of water depending on your level. Like, it's something that I can totally see happening in our world in the future, because so many things divide us anyway in this present day. So I can totally see water becoming such a scarce resource. This is what governments start resorting to. So I thought that was a beautiful layer and element to the show, particularly with the captain's daughter not being able to get surgery or being cured simply because he did not have a high enough level. Like, that was just heartbreaking and super poignant and moving. So if nothing else, the show really terrifies you when it comes to climate change and resources and taking care of our planet, and that was really well handled. And it injected the show with the right amount of urgency and impact. And can someone tell me how the hell did they film that whole vomiting water thing that people got infected with? Like, that was insane, and it looked like a really practical non-CGI effect, and it just blew my mind, and as disgusting as it was. But all in all, I really enjoyed the show. Yes, the finale could have been more of a jaw-dropper, but it was a solid piece of television with great production values, exceptional cinematography, solid acting, intriguing characters. It was a fun journey across the board. So all in all, I'd probably give the show a 7.5 out of 10, maybe an 8, but I think the finale kind of knocked it down a bit. Could still get an 8, right? I don't know, you guys tell me what you thought. If any of you guys finished The Silent Sea, let me know what you thought. But I'm really impressed by Korean shows. So I watched Squid Game, Hellbound, and The Silent Sea, and I've heard there's so many more, from The Kingdom, My Name, like there's so many that I need to be watching. So do recommend which ones you think I should check out next, and do tell me what you thought of The Silent Sea. And yeah, like, comment, subscribe, all that. Let me know what you guys thought. Until next time.